before it was known to man. Sounds sufficient to you, Al?
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? Now we have understanding to that because Israel wasn't there in the seventh day. Jacob wasn't even born yet. So what I'm saying? So the Most High already kept the Sabbath in heaven. And when Jacob was born and everything in the eighth day, that's 1,000 years later. Did the Most High not say one day equals 1,000 years? Okay. Shalom. So we're going to keep that moving. We're going to go on to the next question. What month or new moon starts the new year and passing? This correlates from the 12 months, 12 new moons that I just mentioned a little bit earlier. The thing about this is, it's not too much of a division on this. Pretty much everyone knows that the first month of the year is a Abib, where those that's in truth. For those that's really coming around, the real first new month of the year is the month of Abib. The question is what does the month of Abib signifies on the Roman calendar? Because now we know now there's a separation between the Most High calendar and the Romans calendar, or Gregorian, which we're using right now. So we must align it to make sure that when we use even Esau's calendar, we know which the proper months that were signified for the Most High. So Josephus brought us that. If you look at the PDF, I listed several scriptures. I listed Exodus 12 all the way through 19. Gives you all the information on the passing. I also went into Exodus 13 and 4, Exodus 23 and 15, Exodus 34 and 18, Leviticus 23, 5 through 22. Not going to read them all. Information right there for you to read on the Passover. What we are going to get clarification on is what month was the Passover, when is the new year, and how would you know how to keep count? So we're going to scroll on down that PDF and grab the Josephus. If you look into Josephus, on the work of the Josephus, right here, page 890, if you have the blue cover back, I know there's a couple of them going around. It lists sort of like, I guess you call it a calendar, the Hebrew calendar. And I'm going to tell you why this calendar is more significant. The significance of this here calendar is because he's the translator. You would have known the Hebrew or the Romans from Hebrew to Greek if it wasn't for Josephus. And to support that, before I show you the calendar, I'm going to go into Aspion, the book 1 of Josephus, Aspion.
I suppose that by my books of the antiquities of Jews, most excellent Aphroditus, I have made it evident to those who pursue him that our Jewish nation is of very great antiquity and had distinct subsequences of our own originality, as also I have therein declared how we came to inhabit this country wherein we now live. Those iniquities contain the history of 5,000 years and are taken out of our sacred books, but are translated by me into the Greek tongue.
They are translated by who?
By me into the Greek tongue.
So they're translated by Josephus, as we know he's the writer and the author of the book. But it was also something that I wanted to point out. Notice that he didn't call it the Holy Bible. He called it sacred books. Okay? So it wasn't even called the Holy Bible. It was called the sacred books. So that shows you that the terminology that we're using all the way around is not the same when it was in 100% Hebrew form. But I just want to point out that Josephus was the one that translated it from Hebrew to Greek. So now we can see the significance of him translating the calendar as well. And we're going to turn to page 890. Oh, I see that phrase. I want to point this out. Get your books 890. We know that the word month means new moon. That shouldn't be a problem now. We know new moon means month. If I can get you to zoom in on this one as much as you can. You can just zoom it where you're at. Yeah, just zoom it out. Now, as we see, these names here are lined up with Syro-Macedonian, something like that. And it lines up also with the Roman names. Okay? And as you see, for the first name, a B, which is also Nisan, it gives you two Roman names. It gives you March and April. Okay? And also it gives you 12 months or 12 new moons. And in the Roman section, it aligns them up with 2 months for each name. Let's get understanding on that. The word month means new moon. So now we know that March and April will be March new moon or April new moon. So the word Nisan, a B being lined up with March new moon and April new moon, would signify that because the way Esau does his calendar, you practically did to the Romans 2 of their months. You start in one month and end in another for one whole Hebrew month. And to give understanding, we're going to introduce calendars to support this. Nisan and a B lines up with March, April. That would signify March new moon to April new moon. The reason for that is because when the new moon starts in Esau calendar, you will be 4 or 5 days already into their calendar. So I'm not going to give you an understanding. As you see, we have the month of B, first month. Okay? As you see in this month, the new moon was Saturday sundown on Esau's 5th. So it was already 5 days into his calendar before the new moon even appeared. So therefore, the next new moon, which is Ziph, the 2nd month, won't appear until 30 days later, which would be 4 days into Esau's April month. And that's why Josephus aligned 2 months with 1 month. Because when the new moon appears, it will already be Esau's, you will already be several days into Esau's calendar. And I'm going to bring this up, I'm going to bring it back out. I just wanted to show some things on it as far as pointing out the months. As far as identifying why it's 2 months for 1